Aw, who could not want to get up in the morning and come out and see that face? Good morning, Marty. Hi, Stripe. We have Tux up high? Yeah. I'm sure Morris is close by too. Morris is over here in the chair. Stripe's been sleeping in that chair a lot at night, and they often sleep on top of each other, so. Is that you making breakfast?
Yeah, I'm hungry this morning.
Wow, check it out. It's an omelet with hamburger in it.
Yep.
I'm sure Don was fixing to put some cheese on his. I've got leftover sauteed Vidalia onions, which I absolutely love on mine. Oh my goodness, it's like a miracle has occurred out here this morning. No, seriously, they told us we were going to have lower temperatures and really low humidity today. And it's actually refreshing out here right now. Dare I say it. It's going to last for like a day. By Monday and Tuesday are going to be in the mid to upper 90s, and the humidity is going to return, and it's going to be fairly miserable. But for right now, all is good. So what happened to my plant? Probably just got too big for its britches. It's still blooming on top of the other plant. Oh well. You know, it's getting late in the year for some of these things. God, this dollar plant at Walmart, I am going to have this in my yard every year now. It's like Pentas or something. I've never had it before, and it's just an amazingly flowering, happy, low-care plant. I've really enjoyed it. I mean, this plant here, I got it for, what, on clearance at $10 at Home Depot, and it's been great. This one is too shady over here for it, but I would definitely buy this again too if the opportunity arose, as that was very pretty for a long time till we had that storm. Kind of knocked it around a bit. Well, no yard work today. Don and I are going to go to a new park that's a little bit of a drive away, kind of try something different, and we'll probably be back out here tomorrow. Go back out to the big spot in the front yard tomorrow. Again, we're trying to get a lot done before the 1st of September, before it seeds out. Because we've gone through that front area, that big area, a couple years ago, 3 at the most. I don't remember exactly when it was. And we had uncovered all the ferns and pulled out a bunch of that grass after it had gone to, it was in the winter time, after it gone to frost, and it was all thick and everything in there. But that didn't help to, you know, that made it look better, but that didn't help with it not coming back the following year. So, well, I see somebody munched a little bit on my impatient there. Oh yeah, the deer must have come through here last night, and they munched a little bit along the way. Just great. Yep, over here too. Well, at least they didn't totally scalp it. I really wish they would stop eating my... I read up on what they like, and what they really like is stuff that's not very branchy. They'll eat stuff that's branchy if they have to, but these nice soft leaves, that is what they really love. And anyway, scared me to death. I was down in the front yard, and this person with the hose showed up behind me, but my knight in shining armor is here to help. Well, you don't leave the couch when you're reading, but he doesn't have a real paper today.
That's right.
Online reading, but right. Yeah.
Well, we wanted to go, and I knew that...
you could help get me out of here quicker?
Well, yeah, more or less, but also it's like I knew it wasn't bad out here.
Right, he picked the nicest day of the summer to come help with the watering. The bugs aren't biting today or anything.
Well, I also put on my long thing so that I don't get bit up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for the assistance.
Yeah, I wanted all that.
We're in good shape on this side of the house, yeah.
I agree.
Hi, Mr. Man. Oh, it's a good boy. That's a good boy. Yeah, I don't want to go into those hot, incredibly hot days on Monday and Tuesday and things be stressed. So watering today and tomorrow well is good. Dawn's up at the mailbox watering up there. I bought me a replacement sunflower girl because this one looks so bad. First off, it got ate by critters. And second off, you know, it's faded, it's got old. Walmart had the, oh no, I ended up buying one. No, it's there. Phew. I was gonna say that I ended up buying one that's missing a leg. I spent so much time making sure I was happy with her flower petals that I might have missed something else about her not being right. But anyway, she's good to go. Yeah, I hated this one is done, but you know, they last a couple of years and look okay, and then it's time to replace them. You might remember, besides liking them, that I keep them in various places in the yard in case Tux and Stripe get into it, and that way I can toss something in between them that won't hurt them, that will startle them enough to break them up. Oh, that's my reasoning, and I stand by it. I've got more under the house to put out this fall. I had put them up from the weather for a little bit, since they are more fall than summer. There he comes. I got the best water delivery person.
That's right.
Hi, boys. Hey, buddy. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, Don had the hose out here and watered the big Japanese maple and the other plants here along the front of the house, which I'm very pleased the deer have not eaten. I would put another 2 of these rail things. I guess I'm thinking about it. But over here, I've got my, used to have the bluebirds come up here, pre-kitties. Well, Panther never cared, but Gray and Slate cared. So this was for mealworms, and this was water for them. This unscrews, and anyway, it's kind of messing. I'd have to take it down or move it, or, and then over here to get over there to water is tricky. I have to, you know, tightrope it over to there to get water in it, so I probably shouldn't. But this one has looked so pretty this year, it's very tempting to add a couple more. Good morning, Gray. Oh, you ate all your chicken. That's such a good girl. I did chicken late last night, so I can tell you've been sleeping in Johnny's spot, as I keep on straightening the blanket, and she must keep on making it comfy for her. But during the day, she's in that chair. When I come in, I have to call her. She has to be willing to come out. She likes that dark spot over
Don
there.
picked out Occoneechee Mountain State Park. He goes, Kitten, I can't pronounce that. I think it's an Indian name. I don't know. It's Occoneechee, as best as I understand it. Anyway, it's 51 miles away. It's kind of northwest of Durham in Hillsborough.
Yeah, the short answer is there's no good way to get there from here. It's just straight up.
We're here on 147 going into Durham, and there's an accident in the other direction. Mostly off the road. I would call most of this onlooker delay. This, if you're wondering, is the toll road transponder, which we can take down now because we're no longer on the toll road. And if you're wondering, Don is using full self-driving. He's only had one serious argument with Jules today about her switching lanes back and forth so many times we were getting a headache, so.
Right, well I moved over to go around the dump truck, and as soon as I got over, she immediately wanted to get back right in the tail of that gravel, a dump truck carrying gravel.
He's like, do you not see the dump truck?
I mean, she wasn't going to run into it, but she doesn't care about, you know, Elon's got lots of windshields for sale.
So the red Model Y behind you thinks you're not going fast enough. He's pretty close to your bumper back there. See? I looked up and I'm like, yeah, them Tesla drivers. Just to note, there's really not any place for Don to go.
Well, that and the lane's dropping off there.
Yeah.
There's a Model 3.
Yeah, we've seen several cars in traffic on the other side. Here goes the Y around you.
That's fine.
It's fine. Especially those red.
That was a little rough.
Yeah.
She's fussing at me.
She fussed at you, and she did that. So there was an arrow telling her to get over for this lane closure, and boy, she put the turn signal on and moved us over lickety-split safely. There was no one behind us or anything, but I was impressed she read that. I believe my interpretation is she read this arrow and she moved over. It's a small lot here, and why not park next to the other Model Y? There's a Rivian that I just spotted, and there's also an ID4 that we drove past to get into this space. So let's see if we can find an Ioniq 5 or a Model 3 in the parking lot too. So there's a 3. I really hadn't seen it. And like I said, the Rivian 2Ys and the ID4 is over there. There's also 2 Prius in the lot. They do have one single semi-primitive bathroom, but at least it wasn't claustrophobic in here. And this is the loop trail. Don says we head this way. So you see that thick, low to the ground green stuff over there that looks deceptively pretty? It's all stilt grass. It's not just our yard, it's everywhere here. Well, Don thoroughly researched this, and he had read the reviews that basically said that I-40 or whatever, I-85 or the interstate's basically right there. We are near the split where they come together for a bit, going west and split apart going east. But anyway, it's noisy from the interstate traffic. But it is a nice woodsy area here. We saw some water spots as we drove through coming in. I don't know if there's any on the loop trail or not.
No, we're going to go up to 320-foot elevation. It's the highest part between the mountains and the coast.
It is?
Yeah.
Thanks, Donnie.
No, I didn't tell you that.
So it's just only 2 miles, but it's all uphill on this part, huh?
Well, I'm going back, it's downhill.
Well, I guess there is that. No, Marianne, do not start pulling up the stilt grass. I'm like, can I go past it? I must have pulled up 30 pieces this morning from various spots around the yard. I told you when I'm out watering in the morning, I weed. So if it's in my flower garden area, it has to come out. When I mow, I weed. I just been ignoring the big areas, but honest to God, all these small areas around the yard, I pull it all the time. This is nice sourwood. I can see why they said this park is pretty in the fall, because that's a tree that turns red. It's not a lot of pines out here. Trying to see, I see a few, but not many. You know, North Carolina is famous for its loblolly pines and pine tar and paper products. Yeah, it's uphill.
All the way, baby.
All the way. Oh God. There, that gives you some perspective on the hill. I think a minute ago I wasn't doing it justice. I could have pulled stilt grass.
Instead, you're pulling a hill.
I'm happy to be out here. I'm just funning him, you know. I'm just funning him. Usually it's me leading us into places that mean a lot of work or, you know, whatever. But it's not easy for me. The funny surface here and up the hill. It is. Do I like walking stairs?
I don't know, do you?
Well, you were supposed to say no at IBM. I couldn't get you to walk stairs to save my life. I learned years later that he always wanted me to walk stairs and walk in front of him.
That's right.
I'm like, can we take the elevator? And he just kind of pat a little bit and call for the elevator. Girls walking up the stairs in front of guys is a desirable thing, apparently. And apparently I was good at ruining it. Well, I have to say I am proud after several sessions out there pulling stilt grass, basically bent over for 2, 3, 4 hours at a time, that I'm not waking up the next morning and my glutes being sore anymore. So that's all a positive thing. I don't think Don was having that problem, but I was. And I was also thinking Dr. Sean Baker would be proud of me, because especially yesterday I was pulling a lot of wild grapevine. Big old roots down at the ground, and really having to put some oomph into it to pull those vines out. So I probably was getting some upper body exercise that was worthwhile. Well, yeah, leave no trace. I was telling Don I haven't seen not one piece of trash down in this park. That makes me happy. Yeah, here's a little bit of a different kind of fern.
Steep, you can see we've come up quite a bit.
Yep.
But unfortunately, we got about that much more to go.
That's all right. It's nice and shady here. It's cool. There's a little bit of a breeze even in the woods. It's all good. You can thank Don for not wanting to miss a good weather day in August and getting us out here today. This was all him this time. Normally I lead and he follows, but not today. So what do you see on the side of the tree? I see a sloth.
It looks like a gnome to me.
We've seen several of these large bump formations in the forest, but we're the closest to this one. Well, there's sour gum everywhere. So like I said, in the fall, it must be a lot of red out here. This is a dogwood, but then that's a sour gum. I have not seen a piece of privet. And I've only seen 1 or 2 sprigs of poison ivy. But there is sassafras and tulip poplar in here. Maple trees, dogwoods, oaks. Loblolly pines and some others. Some other different kind of pines. There's Don's beloved sweet gum. Well, this reminds me a little bit of the walk we went on with Rocco.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, the vegetation and the way the stuff grows off the side of the mountain and the trail. When we were up at the Blue Ridge Drive last time and we went on that hike.
Yep, this is exactly
This trail's just a smidge wider.
Yes, it is.
But it's very similar to that trail.
Yeah.
It's kind of like being at the North Carolina Zoo. There are a lot of rock formations like this. I sat low and I told Don to go high because he can handle it. Yeah, man of the mountain man. There are multiple trails here and we're learning. We were on the trail where the trees were painted red a minute ago, and now we're on the one where they're painted yellow. And this is a slightly easier walking trail. Wider, less roots. And hopefully we'll actually get to see the overlook now. But we're learning, first time here. We needed to be out walking a decent amount, so it's all good. I mean, I would have wanted to have walked the other direction anyway. And just Don and I were like a little perplexed, like there's not really an overlook here, unless you call that rock outcrop an overlook. I guess the overlook is down over the Eno River. This just reminded me of the one spot at Raven Rock State Park where you look down on the Cape Fear. Well, there's the Eno River. Yeah, this is very similar view to over the Cape Fear at Raven Rock. Although at Raven Rock you can't see any signs of real life. And there's Don. Found a bench, of course.
In the shade, Mike.
Yep. There was a sign that says no rock climbing or rappelling. And if you look down over here, you can certainly see why they would say that. This would have been an awesome place to have the drone, or for me to have bought my 3D camera. 360 camera, excuse me. Because that kind of simulates drone views. We can't see it though.
Huh. Maybe over there by that church. Oh, I just saw it. I see it right there. Barely see it. It's down low. I just saw the blue.
Okay. Well, I missed it totally. Don and I used Google Lens to look up this pine tree, and it's called a tabletop mountain pine, and it is native to the Appalachian Mountains. Really tiny, cute little pine cones on it. And the kind of pine that can take a lot of abuse here on the side of the mountain. Don thinks maybe there used to be a ranger overlook forest fighter mountain something here on these cement pylons. There are electrical lines down there, but those are high power lines, so they wouldn't have come over here. Interesting. There's no sign. So we're trying to get actually down to the Eno, and the parking lot, which you can't really see, is straight in that direction, and we're walking underneath the transmission lines. If it wasn't for transmission lines and sewer lines, there wouldn't be any trails in North Carolina, because they all pretty much follow one or the other. They usually don't let you walk right underneath this close, but I guess here they do.
Yeah, baby.
Wonder what happened to the trees here.
Probably sprayed them.
All right, yeah, I guess underneath the power line, you're right. They don't let them grow under the power lines. That's right.
Yeah,
It's probably sprayed. Going down to the river seemed like such a good idea.
Yeah, it's in the sun downhill.
He's stinging me. Get him off of me, please. Thank you.
That could be the butterfly. There's a butterfly, brown elf or something. Butterfly.
Yeah, I think that could be what that was. Well, we're almost down to the river, and honest to God, it's all in the sun, and it was serious down, so I may not be happy. So this was either mountain laurel or rhododendron. Again, very similar to that trail we were on with Rocco up in the mountains.
Yeah.
And the quarry is in this direction, so I think what we were looking out at in that rock a while ago was the quarry. So now we're just going to get to see it from the bottom.
I think you're right.
All right, there's where we were. We were up there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that means we have to walk that back up. Oh joy. I didn't want to leave.
You can see the people.
Can you?
Right here. If you back up here.
Okay.
Right through this gap.
I'm just walking to the end of the line here. This really is the end of it. You can't go. Can you? A little bit farther? All right, a little bit farther. I didn't go back to look at the people. I'm counting on seeing them again in this direction. So the overlook is basically right there through that tree. We can hear the people talking up there right now. And this is basically the quarry.
Yeah.
Did not know there was a quarry here, but I got it now. When broken glass tells a story, the boardwalk you were standing on was completed in 2017 and was put in place for the safety of our guests and four-legged friends. If you look around, you will see that the ground is littered with glass. Some of the glass is new, but the majority of it migrates out of the soil from buried trash. One of the few remainders of the mill village that was located right where you are standing. So the Eno Cotton Mill was built in 1896. At its height of production, the mill employed 600 people, had 30,000 spindles and 676 looms. Phew. During this time, the mill would produce gingham, chambray, denim, broadcloth, corduroy, and heavier materials needed by the U.S. Army during World War II. The mill provided 148 houses for its workers, 30 of which were here on the north bank of the Occoneechee Mountain. In 1956, the mill houses were something from the mill village. The houses were sold for $25 per room, blah, blah, blah. And it slipped down from where it was hung, so I can't read it anymore. But there was a cotton mill here. And I do see the glass on the ground.
And there's the foundation right there. There's a foundation for something right there.
Oh, I see it. The stone wall in front of me that has all of the lichen and moss and stuff on it. Well, let me get down there where he is. I gotta look where I'm going. See the foundation now. You can tell that that's man-made. You can see where the water rushes down off the mountain into the Eno River. Well, I wasn't expecting as much stuff down here as there is, but again, if you like it here, you should go to Raven Rock, and if you like it at Raven Rock, you should come here. It's very similar hiking along a major North Carolina river. Here comes Don. He said there's lots of poison ivy down below, but the river, it is moving. It's not moving much at the surface. You wouldn't want to be out there in a tube today. You'd just basically be sitting.
Yeah.
It's pretty stagnant down there today.
Imagine that water's pretty warm.
Yeah, and ucky, I'll pass. One thing I learned about tubing, you want to go where the water actually moves. And even the Cape Fear and Lillington and Cape Fear River Adventures, it's borderline. Well, Don and I looked at the Pogo map, and he consulted the paper map he has. And this appears to be just fine to follow back to the parking lot.
And we may not have to climb that.
That's those stairs.
Yeah.
I won't be upset. Look how pretty.
Oh, it is. That's very much like Raven Rock.
Yeah. Well, you did really good scoping this out for us today, Donnie.
Well, thank you.
I don't know what this means ahead, but I swear the trail keeps going.
Yeah, it does. Honestly, we're good.
I guess I'll just have to duck. Wild grapevine and ferns. I don't hate the wild grapevine, but it will strangle trees and stuff, so keeping it kind of pulled back a little bit, you never can get rid of it. It's worse than the stilt grass. It may be native, I don't know for sure, but
it's tough stuff.
It's tough stuff. It's what caused me to get a cut on a couple of my hands. But yeah, that's really pretty in there.
It's kind of interesting. It's all the Christmas ferns. It's just the one variety.
Yeah, those are the Christmas fern.
Well, I call them, I don't know what they really are.
I think that's the legitimate name. Brackish or bracken fern is that big, broader leafed fern, which I haven't seen much of that in this park. Lady fern maybe sometimes. If it's not Christmas fern, it's lady, you know, very feminine looking, soft, petite fronds. Well, the walk back this way is not easy, but in comparison to going back up those wooden steps out in the sun, it's a snap, so no complaints. We can hear the interstate again, so we must be getting close to the parking lot. We're back on that side of the mountain. Oh God, that seems like a long way to go, but I think we're done with all the uphill. Any major uphill.
Yeah, this is where I got the
Yep.
Overlook Trail, 0.6 miles.
Straight that way.
Eflin Knob, 0.7 miles. Parking area, 0.9 miles.
Yeah, we went straight 2 hours ago instead of left, but actually if I had it to do all over again, I would have gone. We did perfect.
I agree.
So yeah, it's just that somehow that 300-foot elevation change, it feels like we've done it 3 or 4 times today.
Yeah.
With only one real downhill spot. So I don't know exactly how that worked out, but that's how it feels right about now.
Google tracks the elevation.
Yeah.
Well, all of my watches died. Well, no, it's still going.
It's just in energy conservation mode. Well, does it lose it if it battery dies?
Yeah, I think it's.
I think you should stop it and restart it. Well, up to you.
I'm gonna risk it.
Well, there's the highway and all the noise, but you know, for the majority of the hiking trail over here, you're on the other side and you don't hear it. It's really loud here by the parking lot, but it's not loud the whole time, so I guess it wouldn't deter me from coming back here. Motorcycles. So Don's bringing me over here to the Whole Foods on Highway 55, up here by the Cary supercharger. I've been in this Whole Foods, you know, every once in a while. I'm gonna pick up a piece of meat to cook for dinner, and I've been out of the glucosamine and chondroitin I was taking for my knee, and I can tell I haven't been taking it, so I just keep forgetting it, so I'm gonna go pick it up.